Alright guys, so just a quick update. I just bought this unit, a brand new 2025 XMR 1000. So I'm not happy so far with the assembly. So I just want to go over some issue that I found and that might help you if you buy one of these units. So here's how deep I am. So the front bumper, first of all, is not coming back on. I'm going with the winch under the at the original location, and this is coming off, and I'm thinking about taking off this as well, the back bumper, sorry. And yeah, so let's go over. So if you do the conversion with the winch, first of all, when you do the wires, the yellow ones, because you're gonna have to turn normally this unit sits up top and it's not the same way, so the yellow one will have been here and the blue one on the bottom, right? So now you have to switch them because this one is shorter than this one. So I'm gonna have to switch it at the control box as well, which I haven't done yet, but so these two are gonna have to be switched. It's just a matter of colors, right? So same gauge of wire or anything like that, so it's fine for that. And the location of the drain plug is here. And this one, I think it's the belt box tube or something. I'm not sure which one is this one. So here you can see one of the issue here. So you see the belt box. This is all clamp, right? This is all metal clamps here. So this is also the return. I think that's the return or the intake of the air box. So I don't think it needs a waterproof, but they use a tie wrap, which is loose. So the water will get in for sure here. So, and it doesn't seem large enough here to fit a clamp. It's not as large as these ones. So it's meant from Can-Am that they wanted to put a tie wrap here, but I think we should put a clamp here because this is loose and the water is gonna get in. And I'm not sure if it's gonna be an issue, but less water coming in is better, right? So yeah, so far what I found from Can-Am, so far all the bolts are fine. A couple issue like the vent line here. I'm not sure if it's meant to be like that, but this is the engine mount, so this is gonna vibrate a lot, and then this airline is like right against it. So with time, I'm assuming it's gonna wear out, dry out, and it's probably gonna create a hole right here, right? So I know it's hard to see, but it's right against. So it's gonna vibrate like that, create a hole, and the water might get in. So it might not, but it might as well. So this is something that I'm gonna address. Either I'm gonna put a sleeve to protect it, or reroute it somewhere else, right? Okay, so when you take off that front bumper, you're still left with the this is like I would say a bracing, so your winch is stronger. But you could take this off. I'll just keep it on because I think it's gonna create a big hole and it's gonna look like shit. So this is gonna stay on for now, and even if it weighs 6 pounds or 10 pounds, I don't really care because it's gonna help a bit for the sturdiness. So this is a big hole here, so I'm not a big fan of that big hole, but I guess it makes the cleaning easier and stuff like that. And I also have a XMR 700 2024. What I did here, because they don't have that bracket, I put one of those tube accessories that you can put stuff in it. You just hang it to those frame, and you just put it in here, so it fills the void and also looks better. I think so, and you can use it. And I put my spare tire parts and shit like that in there. So I'll probably do that on this one as well. So yeah, so far on this side, this should take a look at. And also what else, I mentioned this, and if you want to switch those wires. And also the rest looks okay so far from Can-Am. I'll have to check the yaw, I'm not sure. Yeah, I seen some yaw on the base of the engine. So I'm not sure if it's from the assembly or if it's the dealer that does the oil change, or the oil fill, but probably the assembly, because it will not roll out of the box. I don't know. Maybe it's the dealer that put the hull, but they should not leave the hull in the bottom like that from the assembly. They should have an inspection at the end, and it should be all nice. And yes, this, I forgot about this. This, I think I'm gonna replace it for a clamp there. Okay, the side is done. So you see all the chucks here. So the sticker is on this side saying Showa. So what I have on an issue from Can-Am, that when they assembly, they put this one reverse. So I don't think it's gonna make a difference, but I'm gonna switch it up for sure. Like, it's not gonna stay like that. So this is gonna turn around pretty much. And yeah, so it's just like an aesthetic issue. But anyhow, I didn't take this cover off yet. There's not much here, but I'll still take it off to take a look. But the filter is here. Still looks like a pain to take it off. This is gonna be in the way, but you should be able to access all the bolts from here without taking this part off when you do your oil filter. So yeah, here's the winch. Other than that, you know, that line, that's the return of your coolant. So they don't put that. That's not like a vent line. So they're not gonna put that in the you know, the vent line box there. But you know, this is going down up here, which I think is fine, because even if you go mudding, because the loop looks pretty high, it goes all the way up here. I think I could pull it on it too. You know, you pull it, so you put it a bit high as you can, because if you go deep, this is gonna get filled, right? So pretty much you cannot go deeper than this, because the water will get in your coolant, so it doesn't make sense. So even if they do like this curve, which is that high, you cannot go higher than this unless you put your coolant higher. Your coolant return line, well, where your it's not a coolant line, it's the overflow, line. Even if you put this one higher, that might help, but where you were gonna put it, you cannot really put it over your rad. I'll take a look at that, but there's not much. Thing is, it's gonna have to stay like that. So pretty much you cannot go higher than this part. Like, yeah, I will not go higher than the plastic pretty much in the water. So every people that say, oh, you can go up to the handlebar, no, you can't. It's too deep. Well, from stock, right? So okay, so so on this side, everything looks fine to me so far. I haven't taken a deeper look. I'm gonna have to check all the bolts. This is just the way I check my stuff. I check all the bolts and stuff like that. So I had to take off the cover for the battery. You know, I take a look at everything of that, but it looks fine. So the reason why is you know, the rear rack, you know, that part, that big the fancy rear rack that they have there. If you want to put the links attachment, you're gonna have to take it off and you know, drill your holes through like usual. But if you want to take it off, you gotta take out that battery cover, and there's a bolt here that you gotta take off. Just this bolt here, and there's a bolt in the back that there's no it's just a screw pretty much. The other one has a bolt to it, and I did the error. So there's a bolt as well. I thought at first there's a bolt in the front there. If you take a look, I thought this one, if you take this one and this one, which is the one in the back there, the whole thing would come off. But it's actually this one that doesn't have to come off. It's just the one here. So just the one here and in the back there. So, and yeah, so I took a look as well. I took this off and I took out the resistor. So this is all the parts that I don't I'm not gonna put back for sure. So this was in, right? So what happened with this part is if you go mudding and stuff, it gets full of mud, or even with time you need to clean it, it gets full of carbon and shit. So I just take them off because, you know, it's not useful to me. But I guess the law says to keep it, but I don't really care, right? So if they catch me, I'm just flying away. And yeah, so I took this off, and funny enough, I found a piece of plastic burnt inside the exhaust. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be like that for all the units, but there's a piece of plastic burnt. It was maybe that size, right? Inside the unit, inside the exhaust here. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but this is typical Mexico assembly for you know. So anyhow, okay, on this side This side heater, there's not much to take a look at. So if you take out these reflector, you can cut this off. I'll probably cut it off so it looks better, right? The only thing I noticed is here, so I think it should have been a bit better. That, you know, it's not a big deal, but they could have strapped it. It looks like there's a hole. You see there's a hole here? So I think they meant to put like a tie wrap with a clip-in, because it should be like that at least, right? So it's out of the way, because like that is, I think it's fine. They all like that, but it's just an aesthetics thing again. It should have been a bit better. See, there's a tie wrap here, but I think a tie wrap with a clip-in would have been better on this instead of that. So that's something you can add if you want. So that too, I'm not a big fan of all the, you know, you just pretty much bent the wire 90 degrees to fit in the plug. So I think it should have been a bit better than that. I don't know. Here you see the wire. I don't know. I think for a $20,000 unit, those small issues should be addressed. So, because when you go in the branch and shit like that, you can get caught in anything. These are fine because it's all, you see, they think about those, because, you know, these are the most prone to like impact and shit like that. But even those, you can get a branch coming up your wheels and just gonna get caught in there and you're gonna rip it off. Same with that, could rip off. So it's just the thing that they need to be addressed from the dealer, I guess, or not the dealer, but the assembly line. But I don't think they're gonna do it ever. So, but this is just the checkup that I do when I buy a new unit, right? So, and I can tell my 700 was way better assembled. So when they get in the box, they don't come with the steering, and they don't come with the top unit and stuff like that, and they might not come with the back rack. I'm not sure how they come in the box, but anyhow, I'll show you what my dealer did. So I'm not bashing my dealer, I'm not gonna say which dealer it is, but they did pretty bad. Like, it's very bad, and I'm not happy with them. So that's, first of all, the steering, right? So look at all those wires. So so it means that they twisted that part. It's pretty much twisted like that. So I'm gonna have to take this off, untwist it, and put the wire straight. So this is an issue that you gotta think long term. So this is gonna dry out. I can feel the tension right now on it, like it's tense. So with time, it's just gonna come off, and it's gonna dry out. It's gonna break for sure with time. This one is very tight. Like, it should be loose in there. It should not be like that. And yeah, so that part will cost very expensive if you have to replace that piece. So check your stuff when it comes from the dealer. That should come perfect, right? So also this, see how you see the lines on the handlebar, not the lines but the numbers. On this side you don't see shit. So it should be straight. It's not straight. It's sticking out about a ½ inch on this side. So that I'm gonna have to readjust this way. And those normally are not loose like that. So they came loose like that. They're just flopping around, they should be strapped to here. At least one tie wrap here. And you check the tension. So those I have the tie wraps at the end, so which is fine. They hold the wire. It's never gonna pull off or anything. So this is good. This is good from Canon. They should have done it on this side too, because they didn't. So, but this should be tie wrapped to this. This is the dealer that does that. And yeah, so here also, when I took it off, now I put them on, but all those lines were loose. They were not hooked to those small tubes. So this is like something that's really easy to notice, and that should be the dealer's like work. They should have done that, and they didn't. So it looks like shit on their part, right? So this is all loose and stuff like that. It's, I don't know. I think this is, normally there's a tie wrap to the base of that steering wheel like that. This one is just loose. This one is just has nothing. It's just free dancing there. And there was a wire when I was turning this. I think this one. It was so tight. I had to loosen it up. There was a tie wrap here. I loosened it up. Unhook it, loosen it up, and shit like that. So check all your stuff. Check all your lines. Check everything. You know. Leftover tie wrap like that should be cut off. You know, it's just something that they should have done. So And most of the plugs that I took off, I seen grease into them. So I think Can-Am does grease them a bit. So they use the dielectric grease. So that's the way it should be done, right? So yeah, so far a lot of issue with that. I think it's just a misunderstood of the product so far. It's just that the mostly the dealer doesn't know yet how to assemble them properly, which they should have like some instructions, some manuals or something like that. But you know, I don't know if it's just my dealer or all the dealers are like that, but it's not a good look for you know, the easy stuff from them. So, and they also should take a look at what I'm mentioning right now, like the reverse chucks, which is mostly aesthetic, but that should be done properly. And yeah, so all the other stuff I mentioned, I can't remember all of them, but the plastic in there, I guess they could not really check for that unless they take out the whole thing. But yeah, so what I found too, I forget to mention, there's a lot of tie wraps. So there was a couple tie wraps. I took some off and I used some because there was some loose wire. So they were just into their frame like that. There's holes for it, which I don't know which line goes there, but they were like that, just loose in there. So I'm not sure why. There was a couple there, and I used one on the other side, I believe, but I think maybe it's the vent line that was supposed to be there. And also one vent line that I'm not sure where it's going. So it's the first time I see a vent line, but on the radiator fan there's a vent line coming off. So this is the vent line here. So it's going here. It seems like there's a spot for it right here. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a clip in for the vent line here, but it goes nowhere. It just goes loose into the side here, which is still low too. I'm not sure what's the use of this vent line, but where it's supposed to go. But I'm thinking I'm gonna put it in here, right? So that too, right? They have I'm not sure if I'm right about that, but so this is the belt box venting, but they have holes right on the lower part of the vent box. You know, so the water cannot go higher than this. That's for sure. It's gonna get in. So what's the point of putting the thing that high if the water cannot go that, you know, that high? Even the airbox is that high. So it seems like there's a clip in somewhere to put it in, but there's no clip in on the inside of the belt cover, or not the belt cover, but the, you know, the cover assembly here. There's nothing to put it in. I don't know. It looks like a lot of afterthought or a lot of different engineers that worked on that unit and they didn't work together. It's, you know, they did a good work on the Gen 3. I think I'm pretty happy like the way they changed some stuff, but I think they all have to come together and do a big meeting and talk over all this stuff, because you know, or they need some people like us and do some video and take a look at them. And you know, I'm pretty meticulous about my my machine. So I'm a aircraft I'm a lightweight aircraft pilot. So before flying, you need to check up everything. So it's just a part of what I do on all my machines. So they gotta be top notch before I ride them, because if they are not, I'm not gonna ride them. And I think it's helping for the longevity of the use of the quad, the longevity of the quad overall, right? So this is something that I do all the time. I check everything on my units, make sure everything is tight. I check all the bolts. I don't tight to spec. I tight a bit more than to spec, just to make sure, and I never have to tight back my bolts normally. So this is just the way I do. But some people might say, oh, you should have done to spec, but I don't do it to spec. It's always been like that. The rules of thumb is you tight it and you crank it a quarter of a turn more, just to make sure. So this is the way I do it. And this is another issue I seen on some video. There should be a plastic here, because the mud is gonna get up to it, right? So I have this issue with my 700 actually, but the 700 is a bit different. There's the vent here is kind of halfway to the rad, so the mud gets in there somehow. And yeah, so I think this one we should put a plastic there just to cover it to make sure the mud doesn't get up there. Yeah, so well, that's it. There's a couple more stuff that I'm probably forgetting. That's why I'm taking a bit longer and I'm trying to think about it. But so far, that's what I think. Take your time, take a look at it. It's worth it. Yeah, and you know, to finish on a good note, overall, the unit is awesome. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know about the power and stuff like that, but it looks awesome to me. And I want to put the XU bumper. I don't think the XU bumper is gonna fit on the front, so I ordered it and I'm gonna try it out. But on the XTP units, the front is the same as these one, right? So, and they have like a XU look bumper that goes where the lights are. So that's what I want. I don't want the ugly, the one that's sticking out. Some people like it, some don't. I don't like it myself. And I don't think it's a big issue to reach down, because I remember maybe a couple times in my lifespan that I had an issue with going down, but it's not that bad, right? So for pulling, I think it's a bit better to be higher as well. But anyhow, I want the look better for sure, and I don't like the small bumper, right? So it's not large enough, and if you hit something where the lights are, it's gonna for sure gonna break everything. It's going up to here. So I like the XU look, that it goes around the light, protects everything if you go through the branch and shit like that. So I'm gonna try to fit the XU. If it doesn't fit, I'm gonna try to get that XTP part. But I tried to the dealer to get the XTP bumper. They could not find the part number, so they keep coming back with the XU bumper. Oh, it's this one. I'm like, I don't think so, because the XU fits on the 700, and the 700 is not the same as this one, right? So the way they mount the bumper is not the same. So I don't think the XU is gonna fit on this one, but I'll try it. I'll give it a try and see. If it fits, I'll do another video on it. But so far, I think it doesn't fit, but we'll see. And yeah, so I'll probably switch, because I still have my 700. I'll switch the seat. I'll see if it fits. It looks the same seat. So the seat on the 700 is like a cloud compared to this. This is a bit stiffer. It's not that stiff. It's not bad, but I'll switch it up, because I like the 700 seat better. And I'll paint all the reds. I don't want any red. So if I keep the back bumper, I'll paint the red. I'll paint it black, matte black. And this is coming off to this one. I'll paint it matte black. So the only red that's gonna be is the chucks, which I don't really care. It's not that bad. So I'm not gonna start painting the chucks. And so, but yeah, overall, I'm happy with it, except for all those small issues. But I was expecting that, but not that much, right? To be honest. It's just I was thinking to ride it. I got it yesterday. I was thinking to come and ride it at night, and now it's. I was thinking to fix it and get it done like yesterday night, which I came at 5 p.m. and I worked till like 2 p.m. on it. I took my sweet ass time, like I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I'm still on it like on the morning right now. It's like 8 a.m. and I'm still on it after a short night of sleep. And I'm just disappointed. It should have been a bit done better. But I can't wait to try it, that's for sure. Like, it looks like a sick unit. For sure. But and also the cell phone here, you know, holder. It's not as good as the 700. The 700, I don't know if some people knows, but it goes deeper, and you can put like your wallets and gloves and stuff like that, and you have a small place for your phone. This one is just for the phone, and I thought maybe it was empty on the bottom, but it's actually the second cylinder that's going up here. It might be the throttle body. I'm not sure which part it is there, but I haven't taken out this plastic yet, which I'll probably have to take out everything to take a look, but it looks like another parts or something going up to here. So I don't think it's the second. No, it's not the second cylinder. It's something else in the middle. So they could not have made a full box like the 700. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is the way it's gonna have to be, but not as much storage, that's for sure, as the 700. But you know, well, whatever, it's not a big deal. So that's where I put the link attachment to the back. So if you don't have the bumper like the rack, if you could take it off, I seen a guy, I think it's Mud Puppy, that took off this this back rack because he wanted to take off all the weight. I'll keep it on because I like the way you can pull on it and shit like that. But you know, you have some link attachment here. It might be the way the XT is designed, so they don't have the back rack. And so I did the same. I did this one. So I have a small link box that you can put in there, and also if you have a link gas can or something like that, you can put it in the middle. So, but the thing with the link box I wanted to mention, I'm not sure. I don't have it here. It's at my cabin there. So I think it's gonna hit the corners here. Looks like it's wider, so it might hit the corner. I don't think the small link box is gonna fit here. So it's another thing that we're gonna have to take a look at, right? So yeah, so overall, that's it. That's where I'm at with it. I'll check everything, I'll put it back together, and I'll go try it today for sure. Oh yeah, and also some people, if they are in Canada, it's freezing cold. I could not find some heat guard on that, so heat end grip, I mean, for that steering. So that's another thing that I would like to have. But I want to keep that. It's like I tried it on the floor, and you can use your full power when you pull on that thing this way. So this is the best for the mud for sure. Like they did a good job, Can-Am, on this. To think about that. But that would be nice to have a heated end guard, hand grips. And if you want like end guards, you won't be able to use the second gen end guards because of the curve. So on the 700, I did use the Gen 2 end guards, which Can-Am didn't recommend at the dealer because they said it's not gonna fit, but it fit perfect, right? So, but here we won't be for sure because of the curve, unless you cut it off here. But I won't be cutting off, so that's for sure. So I'm gonna have to find some heated end grips. So yeah, so if you have any questions, just let me know. But so far, so good. Well, I'll fix whatever I can. It's not that big of a deal, but you know, when you buy a $20,000 unit in Canada, it's $22,000 almost for that cutter. It should come all ready to go. You do your small checkup for sure, but I mean, I should not have be that deep in checking for issue, right? So, and that cutter is more expensive. The reason why is the other plastic, which is gray, is very scratchable. This one is a painted. So you can see under it's black. So this is paint. So this is not as scratchable as the other plastic. So my red one is like I think it's a stained plastic. So my red Can-Am 700 here, like when you get out, you get in on this part here. This looks like a sandpaper. Like I'm telling you, it looks like pink now, and it's not even 6 months old, right? So if you buy the gray one, the stained gray one, the darker one, you're gonna have issue with the plastic, like scratching. Even at the dealer, when I took a look at them, all the plastic were scratched already. Like it's just looking at them, they scratch. So that's why I paid. I think it's like $1,200 more for getting that cutter. But it's just that I don't want it to scratch like my red one, right? So you could like get a wrap on the other one, I guess. But anyhow, this one I like the color, and I think with the black here instead of the red, it's gonna look nice for sure. So yeah, so that's it. Thank you guys.